Shalom, Akim and Nakwath. This is your brother Azariah. I want to start by giving all the praise, all the honor, and the glory to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that are learning and or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Alright, today, all we're going to do is, again, it's going to be a continuation of this Lunar Sabbath, just to make sure brothers and sisters are definitely edified. Alright, I want to make sure brothers and sisters are edified on this topic of why the 7th-day Sabbath is indeed the correct and true Sabbath to keep. We're in perilous times right now, and a time of falling away is happening. That could be in many different ways. That could be altogether falling out. I think that's what a lot of people just kind of that's what, the first things that comes into our mind is people just falling out the walk in general, just going completely back into the world. And that is a major part of people just giving up in their faith altogether and just saying, well, screw it, I'm just going to do what I want to do, type mentality. Aleister Crowley, do as thy will type mentality. But that doesn't have to be limited to just that. It could mean falling out the truth really isn't hard at all. If you're on a wrong doctrine, you're not in Yahawashi for one. I mean, because really that's really what it is being the body of Yahawashi. But it could even lean into you pushing out a narrative, with the false doctrine. That's right. That really is important. If people understand that, liars will not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. If you teach something incorrectly and then, pushing it, especially after you've heard, which the Most High is generally going to make it so everybody, for the most part, he's going to make it so everybody can hear the other side of, the doctrine that someone teaches. So Sabbath, Lunar Sabbath, there's a couple other things too, Sun Up Sabbath, the Sun Up Sabbath, which starts at the sun, things like that. There's always going to be some level of inverse with most of these doctrines, because there's the right hand side and there's the left hand side. And so teaching the wrong Sabbath, observing the wrong Sabbath is an example of a lie, because it's believing a lie. So this is very important. I know, people may take it like, hey, this is light work, or you're still talking about the Sabbath, things like that. And there is a balance to it. Don't get it twisted. There is a balance, just like there is in everything. But we got to understand, it is of major importance, right? This is a doctrine, especially one where if you don't keep it, you choosing or electing not to keep it, based off your own desires or things of that nature. Not that you can't keep it because you're forced to go into work, or you're forced to do something that, you're in a tight predicament, or doing good to do good on the Sabbath. No, but you choose not to do it. And whether that could be because you just straight up don't want to do it, or because you believe in the wrong Sabbath, you're believing a lie. So this is very important. All right. Now what I'm going to do is hit straight to the point. We're going to deal with this Lunar Sabbath getting destroyed by the manna that the Most High sent. All right. We're going to deal with this Lunar Sabbath and show how Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi destroys this false doctrine by the manna that the Most High sent to our people. Let's go to the book of Exodus 16. All right. And it reads, "And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came onto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we have died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, when we did eat bread to the full, for ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Then said Yahweh unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them, whether they will walk in my law or no. Okay? So the Most High is saying he's going to, because, our people were complaining. We know this, right? Most of us know this story. Our people were complaining, rather being in Egypt. It's no different than today, right? No different than today's time. All right? But he's saying he's going to rain bread from heaven. So it's going to be that manna, right? They're going to gather a certain rate every day. So we already see right here that the Most High is going to use the bread from heaven, the manna, as a sign, okay? This is set as a sign to see whether they're going to continue on in his law or not. We're going to keep it going. And it shall come to pass that on the sixth day, they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Now look at that. They're going to use twice as much with the manna, right? On the sixth day. This is going to be the sign that they're going to use twice as much manna to gather, right? To let the children of Israel know, right? That he's telling you, you're going to double in, right? You're going to get twice as much. You're going to double up, right? When it comes to this manna. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I think we'll take it all the way. We'll take it down to verse 11. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh your God. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which Yahweh had given you to eat. This is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, and omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. Right? All right, drop down again. Let's go drop down to 22. And it came to pass that on the sixth day, they gathered twice as much bread. You hear this? Twice as much bread, brothers and sisters. Two omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. Now we see this pattern. The Most High is not changing a thing. Twice as much bread on the sixth day. We see the whole time the Most High is using the manna as a sign to gather children of Israel. I'm being repetitive or redundant, yes, but because the Most High is doing it, the Most High is being redundant on this chapter to let Israel know, hey, this is how you're going to measure the times. The bread that I'm going to give you is going to dictate what day it is, essentially. Verse 23. And look, let's keep reading. And he said unto them, this is that which Yahweh hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahweh. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. Right? Now he's let the Most High saying, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath. Verse 25. And Moses said, eat that day, for today is a Sabbath unto Yahweh. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days, check this out, brothers and sisters, check this out. 6 days ye shall gather it. 6 days ye shall gather it. But on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. 6 days consecutive. Because he's telling you on the 7th day, this is when the Sabbath is, like it always is. Let's go to this. Let's go to this calendar real quick. Now, the problem you have with the lunar Sabbath, from day one, it's not counted as a day. And even with lunar Sabbath people, they keep 7, 14, 21, 28, and they move it around too. If you keep this new moon starting at day one, right, wherever the case, if you're not keeping a 7-day weekly cycle, if you're not keeping a 7-day weekly cycle, because these days alternate, right? These days alternate. They're never always on the same day. But if you use day one as a day, but it's not really counted as the first day, because that's what happens when lunar Sabbath people count it. They don't use it. It's day one, but it doesn't count as a working day. That's total confusion. Okay? There is nothing in the Bible. As a matter of fact, as we just read, the Most High didn't account for this. Okay? Because if he's using the manna as a sign all the way up until the 6th day, telling them gather twice as much, and on the 7th day is going to be your Sabbath, well, where and what were they supposed to do on this day, this new moon, if it's not part of the consecutive days, according to that understanding? And that's the point. It is part of the working days. Again, on the last class that I did, and I'm having to go back there actually a little bit. Let's go back real quick to Leviticus 23. All right. And again, I spoke on how in verse 1 and 2, right, people get confused because he's going to talk about the feast, but then when they see verse 3, they think that he's talking about the Sabbath being considered an holy feast, a holy convocation, right? Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yahweh in all your dwellings. All right. So they think that it's a feast day. But here's the thing. Why would he have to, if that was the case, when he said it in verse 2 already, why would he say it again in verse 4? These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Why say that again if he already said it in verse 2? Why not just say it in verse, he said it in verse 2. If the Sabbath was part of it, hey, verse 3, and then get right to verse 4 could be where verse 5 is. You know what I'm saying? Verse 5 should be where verse 4 is. Because then, now, let's read this, right? Verse 4 again. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahweh's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread. Unto Yahweh 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. Right? And it continues on. Thou shalt wave the sheaf before Yahweh. This is first fruits, aka Pentecost. Right? It just continues on into the next high holy days. It goes straight forward. It doesn't keep doing that break off saying these are the feasts of the Lord. It doesn't do that like it does in the top. Right? That's because we're reading it wrong. They're bringing in these 7 days to let you know those are Shabbat ones, which a Sabbath, the rules of the Sabbath do apply outside of the fact that you can't cook. That's another thing. How is a Sabbath a feast day if you can't cook? If you can't cook on the Sabbath, how is that a feast day? But I digress, from that point now. Same thing. Also, there's no new moon. And that's the whole point we're making, brothers and sisters. There's no new moon involved. Right? So let's count. If we're doing the right counting here, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. Day 7. That's your Sabbath. He said 6 consecutive days. 6 consecutive days. These would be, why did he say 6 consecutive days? Well, he said it in the chapter. He said it in the chapter like he has in many other scriptures. Let's go. Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 12. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as Yahweh thy God hath commanded thee. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. Right? But the 7th day, which is holy and set apart, is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Okay? So you see, we can stop right there. See that? Goes into everyone that can't do any work, how no loopholes being left, right? That isn't, necessary in any way to kind of get around it. All right? So that shows you it's 6 days consecutive. It's 6 days consecutive. And on the 7th day, you keep the Sabbath. Right? It's 26. 6 days ye shall gather it. But on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Right? And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and he found none. And Yahweh said unto Moses, how long refuse you to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that Yahweh have given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. He keeps telling us, right? It's the same thing, right? We're not keeping his commandments even to this very day. Even when it comes to this Sabbath, we got to create a whole nother Sabbath, right? So the people rested on the 7th day, and the house of Israel called the name thereof Manna, and it was like the coriander seed white. The taste of it was like wafers made with honey. All throughout this whole time that the Most High is giving these commands, and no new moon is mentioned at all to dictate anything. Really just stop and think about that, brothers and sisters. The new moon is not even mentioned. Yet again, the new moon is not mentioned to dictate anything. We're reading that the manna has more impact on the children of Israel knowing what day it is than the new moon, than the moon itself. No new moon, no at all, in any shape, in any of its forms, a crescent, right, a full moon, none of it is being used to dictate anything concerning this Sabbath. The manna, the bread from heaven, has more impact. Just think about that, brothers and sisters. Because that's what they would be using if it was about they would look up at the moon, right? This is the whole argument that, lunar Sabbath keepers make, right? With this false doctrine. That's the argument that they make, as they look up at the moon, and you could tell, because if you didn't know what was going on, you could look up at the moon and determine what day it is. That sounds nice, right? But that's not how it goes. Because why? The moon dictates by months. The moon dictates by months, not days and weeks. It's dictated by the months. It dictates the months, not days and weeks. See that? Let's get the book of Mark chapter 15 and let's go to verse 42. And now when the even was come, because it was the preparation, That is the day before the Sabbath. All right. This was the day before. Same thing, right? They continue this on. And they continue this on. It never stopped. There was always a preparation day, right? Before the Shabbat. And they would know, I'm going to double up on the 6th day, right? Get everything together on the 6th day. Because when that sunset hits, it's the Shabbat. So we can't cook on this day. We cannot cook on this day. And it's not a Shabbat one, it's a Shabbaton, a Shabbat. It's not a Shabbat one. So, I hope this was edifying, brothers and sisters. You know, in terms of just understanding that. And now that question's answered. Hey, look, the Most High gives us signs and wonders, and he's going to use his format to do so. He chose a 7-day weekly cycle to dictate his Sabbath. So again, I hope this was edifying, brothers and sisters. And I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and the glory to Yahawah, Ba'asham, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth, that are learning and or teaching his gospel in truth and sincerity. Until next time, Yahawah willing. Shalom.